Hold on. All right, man. Welcome back to Man Down Sports, man. Full episode for you, man. Chris got to go over these topics, man. Starting with the Lakers Nuggets. Of course, we got to get into the bullet board because that story never ends, and there's so much stuff going on with it. So many people gotten, some of their comments and opinions out there all over the place, man. Charles Barkley, JJ Redick, everybody everywhere says. Even Lil Wayne said something about it, man. So we'll touch on it again. And then we got to go Heat Celtics, and we'll get into some of this NBA offseason. I got a crazy idea for the Warriors to get out of their mess, man. I got a crazy idea for the Warriors. I'm gonna pitch to y'all. I'm gonna see what y'all think about it, man. But we can start with the Lakers and Nuggets. The game was last night. Lakers led all first three quarters. They led, looked like they was gonna be able to take it home, and then Miller got hot. He just went Jamal Murray, not Miller. Jamal Murray got real hot, man, and just took over the fourth quarter. Scored 23 points in the fourth quarter, man. Took it home. Before we start everything, I'm gonna get your thoughts on it. I want you to go ahead and like and subscribe on YouTube, and go ahead and share this feed as well, man, so we can get multiple views on this and get a whole bunch of opinions out there, man. But I'll let you get the full Chris, man. Your thoughts from last night's game.
Last night's game, I did think that the Lakers was gonna split. Just how they led by like 11 at one point. It just looked like, and it wasn't really a bad game from Denver, but it was like whenever Denver scored, LA scored. Rui Hachimura had a sizzling first half. I think he was perfect. He was like 7 for 7 in the first half, coming off the bench with like 17 points. And then he started, he brought that into the second half a little bit. They needed the bench assistant. They needed the role players to step up like they did because Anthony Davis had a terrible game. I think he shot 4 for 15 for the game or something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't a good shooting night for him.
It wasn't a good game for him. But Jokic and Murray in particular, Murray just went nuclear last night. Dropped 37, like you said, 23 in the fourth. That's crazy. That was his quarter, and he really put the team on his back. And they ended up taking a 2-0 chokehold on this series, going to LA. And now, even though it's just 2 games, it's a very dangerous and sticky situation for LA to be in, because if you drop one of these games at home, you can pretty much kiss that series goodbye.
This is my issue with and why I think it's kind of, I can't say it's a real messy situation because it's not like it's 3-0 or 3-1, right? It's 2-0 and they won 2 at home. They protected their home court, which they were supposed to do. For the Lakers to get an advantage, they had to at least get one game in Denver and still hold home advantage. And then going back to LA, that was a good look for them. But going back to LA down 2-0, I don't think they're the type of a team that mentally would fold. There's a lot of teams that look at a 2-0 deficit and immediately fold mentally, and then that's how you got them. I don't think Lakers is one of those teams. Plus, I know they had. Both games, even though they got blew out early in the first game, the way they came back in the final quarter and made it tight, and they had a chance to actually tie to take the lead, they just didn't execute. Mm-hmm. Then they come out and they lead the whole game for the first 3 quarters in the second game, and then someone just end up getting hot. I think the Lakers got what it takes to beat them, and going back to LA helped them do that. But it just would have been really good for them to get this game too, because they outplayed Denver for 3 quarters, probably 3.5 quarters if you really want to be real about it. Mm-hmm. They outplayed them the whole time. And they just couldn't pull it out. Now, from what I seen from Darvin Ham and the Lakers, Darvin Ham did not trust his bench in game 2. And even though I know Jamal Murray and Jokic all were tired, right, in the fourth quarter, Anthony Davis and LeBron didn't have anything in the tank. And that's why LeBron, that's why LeBron missed that layup when he got that steal at half court from Jokic, and he went down there and missed the whole rim on a layup. That was fatigue. He was tired. He couldn't hit a 3. That was legs. That was fatigue. And it would have been good for that opportunity for someone on the bench to be able to step up. right? They didn't have Lonnie Walker in at that time. They had Rui in there, but nobody else came out there with fresh legs and was able to do something. You get what I'm saying? I guarantee you, if Vanderbilt would have got that steal that LeBron got, he would have got out with the hole and finish because he would have had legs. So that was a mistake by Darvin Ham not to trust his bench. He went away from his bench. He shouldn't have done that, man. But I got a call on the line. Sheldon, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? I hear all these things about the Lakers done. We well done state. It's not happening, man. We're a team we started to play in October. We had a 2-10 record. Now we're in the conference finals. How can you guys say we're done right now? How can you come on here and say you're wrapped up? I still feel the Lakers in 6. We might stretch to 7, but I don't think Denver. And the reason why, you watch these 2 games, there's so much you could take. There's so much wins you could take from it.
Okay.
Right, game 1, coming out the third quarter, we locked them up. Game 2, we controlled the threesome the whole game, and until we went down, we had a bad shooting spree in the third quarter. I think we went for 0 for 10, and they came back in the game. But I still got the Lakers. I still see confidence. You could even watching the press conference at LeBron James and Dana Ham. These players are still. We're not done. We don't feel defeated.
Well, so they're not done, but there's no way they win it in 6. They're not about to go 4 straight games and beat them. That's just not about to happen, right? So
you never know, man.
You're right. You never know, but I don't even think that's that's not a possibility. Not just because of your just pure basketball, but just the business of it. There's no way they're about to come out here and go 4 straight games on Denver and they never get another win. So if the Lakers is going to win, it's going 7. That's for sure, right? So what they got to do is exactly what Phoenix did last series and go back home and get 2 games and come back to Denver tied at 2-2. Now, I'm more confident that the Lakers could win in Denver than I was with Phoenix, right? So even when Phoenix went back to Denver 2-2, I was like, I don't know. So what happened to Phoenix, I don't think what happened to the Lakers. So if they can get both games in LA and they come back 2-2, I'm still favoring the Lakers in the series, but they have to get that first game in Denver going back to Denver. They got to get that one, right?
LA.
Yeah, they got to get that one for sure. And then I mean, you know what? To be honest with you though, you might be right, man. If they get both games in LA and go back and get that game in Denver, dang, now that I think about it, they be going back to LA.
That ain't happening.
Yeah, they're going to get. I don't know, man. I just like the confidence the Lakers have. I mean, you could see like both teams were gassed in the fourth quarter, but you could tell Denver is used to playing in that altitude, and the Lakers wasn't. I think that was the advantage in yesterday's game.
I mean, it could have been, but the Lakers choked, man. Like I said, that fatigue that hit them in the fourth quarter, that wall they hit, that was based on them not trusting their bench, man. They didn't trust their bench.
I think we should have had the bench come out, especially right after the third quarter. Yeah, right after halftime, get them out there, get them going. You
got to trust them, man. You got to trust them. They help you get to where you at. You got to trust them. That was what was going on with the Warriors. They didn't trust their bench, man. They playing the Lakers. We didn't see no Kuminga. You know what I mean? We barely seen Moody, right? Poole was only got 10 minutes one game. Like, I mean, like, dog, like trust your bench a little bit. You got to. Yeah, but
no, I agree. I agree 100% with David Ham. Because LeBron was gassed.
he was gassed. He was gassed, and he blew a couple of dunks too. I don't even know what that was. Like, come on, man, you blowing dunks, man.
That was the age.
Oh, man, Michael Jordan, man, come on.
Yeah. Now, let me throw this out there.
That was age, though.
No, it wasn't age. It was just a freak. You know what I mean? Just like, dang, man.
He was
very high up, man.
Now, I will say about that flopping that he did, that was quite unnecessary.
I don't see it like that.
The flopping?
I don't see it like that. Jokic
Right
was
after he
holding him.
said we don't coach flopping?
Jokic was holding him. That was actual.
No,
That,
if you
that
look
was
at the
actual
replay,
foul.
if you look at the replay, LeBron pushed off of Jokic to get the momentum to slide.
No, that was an actual foul.
No.
That was an actual foul, man. And then for Jokic to come back the very next play, and for LeBron with no hands, I'm trying to box you out in front of you. For as soon as my back hit you, for you to flop like a fish and fall, and you got the call, that's pretty bad.
Well, LeBron flopped and got the call, so what's the difference?
Yeah, but it was illegal contact by Jokic that made LeBron. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, he sold it, but he sold it so they could see it. Like I said, Jokic's been getting away with that all playoffs. He been getting away with fouling all playoffs, man. And that was probably his first foul. And that was that third quarter? That was his second foul. Like Jokic is out there with imagine a man out there with wooden legs that you just can't defend, going out there and finishing the game with 2 fouls, maybe 3. Like how is it that you can't even defend? You're not a good defender and you're not fouling. Like, how's he not fouling? He's fouling every play. They're not calling it, but it is what it is, man. But you know what's gonna the talk that's gonna happen if Denver wins this series and Jokic goes on to the finals, and especially if Jokic win the finals. You do know the new talk is gonna be that Jokic is the best player on earth, right? You do know that's coming, right?
I'm turning off all my sport everything's.
I see the play already. Yeah, I see it.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you.
I can pull the play up. I can pull the play up easily. I can easily pull it up and show you. When you're holding somebody's arms and they're trying to get to a loose ball, come on now.
That's not how it went. How you remember it is not how it went, man.
I think we're more focused on the end part of the play. If you look at the start of the play, when Jokic was grabbing his arm and then he was trying to get loose, he kind of did soul it towards the end, but that was definitely a foul. That wasn't called. Yeah, for sure. But what's y'all thoughts on this best player in the world?
Disagree. We had the episode already. You already know what my stance on that is. And Jokic is nowhere near close to qualifying for best player in the world.
Sheldon, your thoughts?
I don't even think he's close. He's a skilled big man. He do bring a lot of things to the game. That's like with his 3-point shooting and his passing. But as for best big man in the game, I think it's even disrespectful you even have the conversation.
So let me ask you this, because recently, when Kobe was the best player in the league, everybody just knew it was Kobe, right? And then when we started saying LeBron was the best player in the league, everybody knew it was LeBron, right? And I think right around the time when Kawhi won in Toronto, well, you can kind of say when Kevin Durant won with the Warriors, people were starting to say Kevin Durant is better than LeBron. He's the best in the world. And it became like a conversation, Kevin Durant or LeBron. And then Kawhi won in Toronto, and everybody was like, there was a lot of people that were saying, man, Kawhi, man, he the best because he's a two-way player, and he beat this person and beat this person, and he did it with this type of talent and blah, 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 all this stuff, right? And then that's when it kind of started being whoever won the championship, that player is somehow the best in the world, because right after Kawhi did it, then Giannis finally won it, and they said Giannis was the best in the world. Now they done jumped all the way off the Giannis bandwagon, and now they're saying Jokic is the best in the world, and if he win it, it's a wrap. So it pretty much, if you're a great player and you lead your team to a championship, they're going to say you're the best in the world, because they were saying it last year after Steph won it, best in the world. Now it's Jokic. Now my question is, if you go back to when Dirk won it, he beat the big three Miami Heat, and he didn't have a lot of help. There was no one saying that Dirk was the best in the league after he beat LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. Am I correct?
Yeah, I don't remember none of that.
No, that wasn't even that. Nobody even heard of that. I think sports is starting to figure out how to control the masses. Like same way how they do in a movie, you can watch a movie and you got your scene that would like take the audience and gravitate to them and emotionally like a scary movie, you get scared. I think NBA figure out how to control the masses just by painting a narrative. You could paint any narrative you want in the league, as long as you have enough people to say it and the broadcasting channel to say it, it's gonna go. Because people are like, I guess they're right. They keep, that's the NBA now. It's just strictly entertaining. It's just like a movie. Same thing.
So what they saying ain't got to be true as long as if it's go generate some clicks and some conversation.
Right. It don't have to be true. That's the new NBA.
Yeah, but
water cooler talk runs the league.
Water cooler talk.
Water cooler talk runs the league.
I ain't never heard that. What's water cooler talk, man?
When like at the office, when you get to the water cooler and then you have little conversations at the water cooler talks, man.
Yeah. Dino said Dirk had the defensive player of the year and a 6-man runner up. What does that mean? Would you
in that same year?
Yeah, I think he's saying Tyson Chandler and Jason Terry. Jason Terry was the runner up for 6-man, and Chandler was defensive player of the year.
You can't name me 4 other people off that team.
I mean, I can name probably the whole squad, but I'm
talking about Dennis.
Oh, he probably maybe not, but I mean, they did have Tyson, they did have Dirk, they did have J Kidd, they did have JJ Barrera, Jason Terry. They might have had Sean Marion come off the bench. They may have
what's his name? Dorian? No, something Finley.
Michael Finley. He wasn't on that squad.
He wasn't on that one.
Yeah, Deshaun Stevenson was there. They had that. Yeah, JJ Barrera. They had some good players, but they ain't had no mind in the big three.
I forgot about JJ Barrera. Yeah, it wasn't no big three though. It was Dirk and role players.
Well, you can say Dirk and Kidd, but Kidd was a 95-year-old point guard.
I was about to say Kidd was on his last legs, man.
Yeah, he was. But it's almost like having CP3 now.
No, J Kidd on that Dallas run is better than CP3 now.
It's the same player.
CP3 still ain't got no ring, and he's got more help than Dirk did.
It's the same player. It's like having CP3.
Also, J Kidd made it to the finals and played. CP3 ain't been healthy in how many playoffs?
I mean, CP3 ain't been healthy for a long time. Like he gets hurt, man. That's part of his. His thing.
You know what? This season, this playoff looked promising. So I was like, damn, CP3 ain't got hurt yet, and then a freak groin injury. I was like, well, there it is. It was something about games 3 to 5. I was like,
yeah, but that was a blessing in disguise because they got to play a little faster with Payne. But I don't know, man. We go talk about Phoenix when we get to the offseason stuff, man. But yeah, I'm not buying into this Joker best player thing.
No, I already told you who the best player was.
Yeah, he's having a good run. He's doing exactly what Dirk did and Giannis did. Like they had a good run. They got their one ring, and it was great. But we didn't anoint Dirk the best player in the league. While it was players in the league still better than him, like LeBron, and I mean, we still had Kobe in the league, and Wade and Melo. It was people still obviously better than Dirk. And we anoint guys too soon for having these great runs, and that's all Giannis had was a great run. Notice he ain't got back there yet. It's gonna be very hard for him to get back there, I
don't think he's gonna get back there.
You see, he had a IG video that went viral.
No, I didn't. I had a statement. I saw a statement he put on and tweeted.
Yeah, so he was talking to some of his fans on his IG live, and somebody typed in the comment section, "Go to the Warriors." And like Giannis and Dame Lillard, they're like team never leave and always criticize KD and all this stuff. So you'll be surprised what his reaction was when he asked him to go to the Warriors. He looked at his friend and was like, "They just asked me to go to the Warriors," and he was like, like oh man, that's not like that ain't a bad idea, man. You know what I mean? So now the coach that won a championship with you put a system in that got you an MVP, 2 MVPs, a defensive player of the year. Like you get all this stuff, and then they fire that coach, and now you probably question the direction of the team, and now leaving don't look so bad. You get what I'm saying? So
you think Giannis and Steph would do better than KD and Steph?
It would just have to be Giannis and Steph because I believe the new bargaining agreement it's going to be really hard for team to acquire that third, fourth star.
Yeah. It'll be Giannis, Steph, but Draymond and Clay for sure will be gone. You might have to lose. You might have to lose because there had to be a trade. It had to be a trade to get Giannis, right? So you talking about we got to make the money work, and then you gotta give Milwaukee pieces that they actually want. So 100% Wiggins will be gone. And Dre and Clay had to be part of that as well, just to make the money work because they the second and third highest paid player, and then maybe even Poole will have to get shipped too, because he's making 28. So 28 mil for Poole, 27 mil for Dre, 43 mil for Clay next year, 51 mil for Steph, and we haven't even looked at that Giannis contract, and then Wiggins making 24 mil. Yeah, so those are the names he's going to have to. Yeah. So it's
I know they paying a luxury tax because sheesh.
Yeah, they paying a luxury tax. The NBA salary cap is like 137 million, right? So once you go over 137 million, that's when the luxury tax comes in, and that luxury tax is a percentage of how much over you are, right? So think of an owner. If you paying your people right at the salary cap, you're spending 137 million on your players every year. Well, the Warriors were spending, I want to say, mid 200s, so they extra 100 over the cap, and then after you add the luxury tax to it, there was in the upper 300s every year.
Yeah,
that was in the upper. That was in the upper 300s. To roster that team that they had, and let me see if I can pull it up. So if you look down, let me move this comment out the way. If you look down,
648 million.
Well, so look all the way at the bottom left where it say team totals, and they was paying 191 mil for their roster, and the salary cap is 137, so there was 60 mil over the cap. Next year that jumps to 211, right? Right. So 211 next year, and then you got to add the luxury tax to that. So they're gonna be in the upper 300s after they pay the luxury tax.
Right.
Amazing.
For a team that's not not constructed right. I think they are constructed right. They didn't do well by their players, so they kind of like created a toxic environment for all the tips, especially for the new guys that's coming in.
Yeah,
the Warriors do have a good squad. They just,
they poisoned the water.
Leadership.
Yeah, the water is poisoned now. Draymond and Clay poisoned it, and every newcomer, they're just not going to fit with that squad. They're gonna have to clean that whole everybody that was in. If they want to keep Draymond, Clay, and Steph, they're gonna have to clean out every young guy that was in that locker room to witness how toxic it was after the punch. You know what I mean? For them to sit down and watch the front office not do anything about it, basically saying that, hey man, we condone Draymond Green doing this to our players, and this is what we want. We want him to check y'all like this.
Hey, did you see the video of Draymond and Stephen A talking on Stephen A's broadcast of the game?
Mm-hmm.
And what Dre said, and when Stephen A asked him, he was like, do you think what happened at the beginning of the season had any bearing or effect on, he was like, would you guys still be playing if that didn't happen? And Draymond was like, oh, I absolutely believe so. He was like, I'm supposed to be like the guy that rallies everybody. I'm supposed to kind of like be the mentor and such and such. And I put a lot of pressure on everybody involved in that situation, and I kind of wanted them to have their time to heal from that or whatever. So I didn't say as much. And then when I started to talk, it was too late in the season. But by that time, he was like, "There's 5 months in, and bad habits is already set in or whatever." So he took responsibility for pretty much the Warriors' woes for the entire season, which I think, he should have in the beginning. But
that's what we call true lies. He told the truth on one front, where he said that the chemistry issues came from that punch. But then he spoke real delusional and overinflated himself, trying to make it seem like, well, after the punch, I wasn't vocal enough in the locker room and I wasn't able to keep all the role players in check, and that's how we got out of whack. No, bro, don't. You putting importance on yourself, oh man, me talking trash to everybody was the only reason why the team is successful. If I don't talk trash, then we're gonna be come on, man. He had to sell it. My voice is what's holding this whole franchise together. Is me talking and me holding people accountable. Man, shut up, man.
It sounded good.
It sounded good. Anybody going for that, man? Anybody going for that? But yeah, he's right. The punch did muddy the waters and mess that whole thing up. But come on, man. The key to our success was me keeping everybody in check by my running my mouth. Come on, man.
But hey, listen, whoever's PR person Draymond had, Ja need to hire him, cause
let's get into Bullet Boy, man.
Yo, hey,
let's get into Bullet Boy. Let's talk about Bullet Boy again, man. Let's start with some of his enablers, man. Here's JJ Redick capping for Ja Morant.
And so that's where I think a 40-game suspension, the precedence for that, for not breaking a law. Again, we can go into the backstory of the incident with the teenager. Ja's claiming self-defense, that the teenager threw the ball in his face. We can go into the incident at the mall when he yelled at a security guard. We can go into the incident with the Indiana Pacers traveling party. As far as we know, all of these things have been investigated and no law has been broken. I'm not condoning the behavior. I'm not saying there should be no punishment. There should be consequences. You are the face of the league. You are representing the NBA. You are a role model to young kids. All of that. I don't think half a season is the right answer. And the last point I want to make is, you bring this up, the guns on social media. We talk about consequences. Look, in our country right now, gun culture is pervasive. It's pervasive. We've got mass shooting after mass shooting, and nobody's doing a damn thing about it. So I get why we're so sensitive to this right now. But there's no consequence for Greg Abbott telling his constituents that they should go buy more guns, and then we have mass shooting after mass shooting in Texas. There's no consequence for an elected Tennessee official to send out a Christmas card holding AR-15s with his young family, and then there's a shooting in his very district. There's no consequences to that. So why are we trying to lay down the hammer on a 23-year-old who didn't break a law? Explain that to me.
Let me go first. All right, because this selective outrage is outrageous. I don't know why he's causing a fit and being in the out. This is crazy. So some of his points. First of all, let's just go ahead and get rid of that example he used of the governor who had pictures of his. Let's just go ahead and get rid of that, because that governor's not in the NBA. Like, this is an NBA issue. The NBA is punishing Ja Morant, right? The only thing that people on the outside is doing is saying, yeah, we think it's justified that the NBA should punish him, for several reasons, right? No, if come on, man, like this is the NBA, and you can't bring in some governor that also had guns and try to compare that. That's apples to oranges. I mean, it's just ridiculous, right? So let's go ahead and get rid of that. But the fact that he brought up him being a 23-year-old that made a mistake and didn't break a law. Once again, the law don't have jurisdiction here. It's the NBA. So it's the NBA's rules and laws and regulations that we're going by, right? And they have a morale clause in their contracts for their players, especially these franchise type players, who is the face of the league and the face of their franchise. Right? We want you to be a certain way that's not going to be detrimental to our league and your team that you play for, right? So he has that burden. Now, that's another thing that you separate from this conversation, which is the law. It doesn't matter that he didn't break a law, because did it matter when David Sterling didn't break a law, but he said something about black people and they forced him to sell his team? Like, and that's the team that JJ Redick actually played for, right? Was it about the law when David Sterling had to give his team up? No, it was not. So we know this don't have anything to do with the law. Zero to do with the law. Was it did Paul Pierce break the law when he went IG live and he had weed and strippers in his room that he was partying at?
Boy,
No, he lost his job real quick. Morale clause, right? He didn't break a law, and no one came to cap for him. No one came to stick up for him. Did Kyrie Irving break a law when he said, I don't want to take the vax? I didn't hear JJ Redick coming to protect him for that, because he didn't want to go up against big pharmaceutical and the whole government and the whole world that was saying that everybody should get the vax. So don't act like you're all of a sudden this guy that's going to come and take up for the players all of a sudden. No, that's not what you're doing, right? Because you didn't do it for Paul Pierce, you didn't do it for David Sterling, you didn't do it for Kyrie Irving. What JJ Redick is doing is, after he went against Kendrick Perkins with that narrative that people was voting for Jokic for MVP based on his race and all that stuff, and after he went against Kendrick Perkins so many times with those narratives, this is a way back for me to, hey, let me try to get back on the side of black people. Let me cap for Ja Morant. And it is a little bit of JJ Redick learning from Stephen A. Smith on theater. Just what we were saying earlier, it's not about you saying what you really believe and what's the truth. It's about, can you say something that's going to spark up conversation, controversy, drama, and get a lot of clicks on your platform. So he's learned the art of theater. This is theater for JJ Redick. That ain't what he really care about and believe, because he know he ain't even got a voice in that conversation. The real deal that's going on with Ja Morant, and then I ended after I say this, is that he's representing a lifestyle that is detrimental to the NBA, but not just detrimental to the NBA, it's also detrimental to young black people that young black boys that follow him, and it's glorifying and glamorizing a lifestyle that is a gang life that we don't want part of our community, right? You show up with 3 cuts in your eyebrow, we know exactly what 3 cuts in your eyebrow mean. That's gang in nature, right? You throw gang signs up during the game, we know what that means. We know what a big C mean. We know what those Crip signs mean, right? You got the whole costume of King Von on, who was a known killer and drill rapper who raps about his killings, but you're dressed exactly like him, right? So basically what it is, we know what you're representing or trying to represent, and we know that don't belong in the NBA. That's all this boils down to. So stop doing it. Just stop doing it. That's all it is. Just stop doing it for your sake. Keep the money in your pocket and just chill. That's my thoughts on it. But go ahead.
But I'm gonna say that real quick. It's funny how you brought up like King Von, because if they call in Ja Morant the face of the NBA, to be the face of the NBA, you have to gravitate to the kids, the youth, right? If you look at artists like NBA YoungBoy and the kind of music, or the King Von and the kind of music they deliver, and how they got the youth, right? Just like I said earlier, the NBA has figured it out. I think this is by design. I think this is a smoke screen. The NBA wants Ja Morant. They know that. I think this is what they want, because they know if they can get the youth to gravitate to the NBA through Ja Morant, they're going to get a bigger audience. Even if it's low frequency stuff like waving your guns, you can't be that stupid. It's no way you can be that stupid. I think this is all planned. This is an NBA design. Let's get the youth in. This is what they like. Let's cater to that.
It definitely ain't by design. I ain't gonna believe that. That's for sure. It's definitely not by design. This is just major mistakes he's making. But I will say this: the NBA ain't 100% innocent in this, because all these, like, they've been investigating Ja Morant for a year. Starting from the allegations of him beating up the little 17-year-old kid at his house, the Indiana Pacers reporting them putting red lights on them, supposedly from guns, right? The report of him going to the mall at the shoe store to fight the kid that worked there. All of this stuff was already alleged and being investigated by the NBA, so they knew about this. They swept it under the rug. Even those police reports, it's supposed to be videos for those instances. He went to the mall and did all that ruckish. It's supposed to be videos for that. All that stuff is getting buried. I don't know if it's the NBA that's making it go away, or I don't know if it's the local police in Memphis that's trying to protect their one of their own, right? But these junks aren't surfacing. Like, the video is not surfacing, but the video exists. So the NBA knows that, and then they only leaked it after they found out about this gun that he was waving. Like, okay, this is a problem, because you showed us gang life, you showing us gang signs, you showing us thug costume, and now you're waving gun while listening to drill music. All this, when you put all this stuff together, is making you look guilty. And now the NBA want to do something about it, but they didn't care when they had all these allegations. They didn't care because it's a star and he's making money. But now that we all know that he really trying to thug, now the NBA's want to make it seem like they're doing something about it. Go ahead, Chris.
So the first part about this, I'm gonna say I want Ja Morant out the league, and I'm gonna explain why. So at my job, right, I can't do drugs. They tell you that, you get tested for that, you get fired for that. If I post on my Facebook or I post on some kind of social media that I'm holding a blunt, or
which isn't illegal in Cali.
Nope, I'm holding the blunt, or I'm snorting the line, or I'm doing something drug related. Do you think I'm not gonna get called into my office when next day I go to work and I'm gonna have questions and possibly get fired? I'm probably gonna get fired, right? It's the same thing with the NBA, right? Just because guns are legal, it's your Second Amendment right. It's still a job, right? And the job still tells you things that you can and can't do because you're representing that job. You're representing that company. You represent the NBA, right? The first time I thought he got very, very lucky, because I said he should have got the full 50 when he got caught the first time. But they gave him an 8-game suspension with time served. So he only had a 2-game suspension. That was very light. If he doesn't catch at least a 50 for this one, I know something. Honestly, it should be indefinitely, because now you make your boss, Adam Silver, look like a fool for trusting you, thinking that you actually turned a corner, right? That you made progress. You gave us the whole smoke show about going down to Florida, working on how to deal with your stress, the counseling, right? You gave us that piss poor performance with Jalen Rose, of all people, on that interview, right? Then I don't know how true it is. It's funny, but there's reports now that your second apology was written by AI. Like, come on, man. You got Kwame Brown coming at you. You got Jalen Rose saying he can't defend you. Like, Adam Silver saying, I'm shocked and surprised. I thought we had, came to an understanding. Like, and this is why I say I want Ja Morant out the league, right? All the flack that Kyrie got, all the hate and the trials and tribulations he went through in the league that year, that he didn't want to get vaccinated, and he tweeted a book link. I understand what the book was about, but it's not like he said Hail Hitler or anything like that. He tweeted a link to a book, and he almost got blacklisted out of the NBA. But Ja Morant can go around waving guns, doing gun celebrations mid game, and he's not the only one throwing up gang signs in game. But we have knowledge of these other players that come from these troubled backgrounds. So Russell Westbrook and like some of these other ones, we know where they come from, right? But John Morant comes from a suburb, wearing boat shoes, taking family portraits. Why you throwing up Crip?
You know what? And it's one thing to throw a sign up, right? Because we could always look at it. I mean, because nobody said that when we first seen the 3 cuts in his eyebrow, even though we know what they represent, right? Nobody said nothing, right? Because we thought that he wasn't trying to live like that for real outside. So like, you throw something up, all right, you might be from that neighborhood, some Crips or whatever, and you might have permission to do that. Cool. It is what it is. We'll let that go. David Stern wouldn't have let it go, right? That's for sure. David Stern wouldn't have let it go. And Deshaun Jackson got in a lot of trouble for allegedly throwing up signs during the football game or whatnot. So he got a reputation, but the lifestyle ain't like that. Like you can't find me nothing that Russell Westbrook or Draymond Green or Deshaun Jackson, anybody who threw up any sign during the game, you can't find me the allegations of them going to go beat people up or them waving guns at 17-year-old kids, smacking them up, jumping them, or doing all this crazy stuff, man. Like you can't find them doing that. So it was fine for Ja Morant to throw his gun signs up, shoot his gun, throw up the gang signs, wear the 3 slits in his eyebrow, and do all of these things. Had the whole image and persona of a gangster when we thought that he was actually living just a normal life. But now you're trying to prove to people that I'm gang and I'm an NBA player. Well, you gotta choose, big dog. Like you gotta choose one of them. Don't be gang and NBA. Choose one. If you want to be gang for real, like you got to go in there 100% and actually be gang. I mean,
go ahead.
No, I mean he got to make a choice, and that's what I think, man. But I want to pinpoint.
He may be a Aaron Hernandez into the NBA.
Well, if he is, and I don't know how much information the NBA has gathered from their investigation, but they probably go look a little deeper, and he gonna be in danger of being in some type of RICO case pretty soon. If he's not careful, he's going. I mean, because look, let's say this, right? So the incidents that came out in the mix of all of this, right? We got one problem with his parents, and I start with his mom, right? So his mom goes allegedly to the mall. She's in the shoe store. Supposedly she felt disrespected. I don't know what the kid said to her. I don't think it was alleged that he did anything to her or he put his hands on her or he threatened her. None of that is alleged. They just say it was a disagreement there. So I don't know if in Memphis everyone knows her as Ja Morant's mom and she gets favorable treatment, and maybe she didn't get that treatment from this kid and she didn't like it and then she had words with him. I don't know, right? So but what is alleged is they had a disagreement. During this disagreement, she thought it was a good idea to call her superstar basketball player's son to come up here and settle her grievances with this kid that work at some shoe store. He shows up with 8 people, right? If the kid wouldn't have ran away in the back and locked the door, in which they said those 8 people and Ja Morant banged on that door for 30 minutes trying to get the kid to come out, I don't know what would have happened if they would have got to that kid. Like why do you want them that bad that you banging on the door for 30 minutes? So let's say worst case scenario, they want to beat the kid up and it's 8 of them. That can turn into a serious injury or death, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the mom did it again at a volleyball game in high school where his sister was playing. And he shows up with 8 people again. And they rushed some girl that was heckling his sister, took her phone, smashed it on the ground. People was trying to stop them from getting there, but who knows, that could have turned into something crazy. But what you're seeing now is a pattern of someone using Ja Morant, and it's his mom that's using him as a weapon against other people. These are the type of things that turn into like, you know, if you look at some of these RICO cases, if you can find someone that's at the top of the pyramid is making these calls to go out and harm or kill people or do whatever, those are the type of thing that they're saying is part of a RICO. I mean, of course, drugs and all that stuff is part of it as well. But yeah, if I can call a henchman to go out and do stuff like that, they can easily kind of put stuff like that on you. So what my whole point is, what is going on through his mom's mind, where she feels like anytime she get a disagreement or anything that goes wrong, I'm going to call my superstar son to come fix it. Like he's an enforcer. Right? Like you, it don't even make sense for a married woman to bypass her whole able-bodied husband to call her son to come handle something. Like right now, if my wife got into something and she needed me, I expect her to call me, not my son. And then if my son was in the NBA making millions and the breadwinner for the family, why the heck would you call him in the first place and put him in that situation? And he's happy to do it. He's more than happy to do it. And his 8 friends that's going up there with him is more than happy to do it. What are we seeing here? Right? Where's the husband in it? Why she ain't never called the husband? And because the husband probably would have a sound mind and be like, oh, did the kid put his hands on you? No. Then what happened? Oh, I already know my wife. You probably went up there with an attitude and, you know, all right, man, get your butt home. Yeah, come on and come home. I'm not about to come up here and jump in over, but like this is what Jada Pinkett did to Will Smith without even saying anything. Chris Rock said something about it. Will Smith went in all this rage and hopped up and smacked somebody on national TV while she sat back there nodding her head in approval. This is what you just seen Ja Morant mom do more than one time. Exactly what is almost like a witch. Exactly what Will Smith is in a situation with his wife. But at least Will Smith didn't ask her. Jada Pinkett didn't ask her son to do it. You get what I'm saying? So we looking at
got it in them.
we looking at a situation where they call it a son husband. You know, Lil Scrappy and his mom, son husbands. But single moms usually get so close to their son where they start treating them like they're their husbands, and they're out there protecting them like a husband should protect his wife. And it's a horrible situation to be in for any kid, man, because now you got this emotional creature in the female who raised you to be emotional like that. And then also I can use you and whenever I get my emotions get the best of me and they get me in a situation, I can now call my son and use him like a weapon against the person that pissed me off. Not to protect me. We're not in a situation where I'm with my mom and someone trying to attack her and I protect her. No, that's not what it is. It's the mom using the son as a weapon. I can call him up like the president can call the army and go over to Iraq. That's what she's doing. Dumbest thing in the world, man. Go ahead though.
My problem not really lies with the mother. My problem lies with the father. I haven't seen T be much of a father figure to Ja, but more like a friend. You know, like when Ja got big and reached the superstar status, you see their relationship. You know, he's at every game almost, and you know they got the handshake. He's always standing behind them for the interviews, and he's sitting there courtside with the celebrities, Boosie, DC, Shannon Sharp, and then he's just riding his son's coattails. And they got sort of like a best friend relationship. But I seen how his father got down, and it kind of made sense when he got into it with that little scrap with Shannon Sharp. Who are you to try to get into a scuffle with a Hall of Fame Super Bowl champion tight end that's still in great shape? He would have folded T. He would have folded him. So it makes sense when you see how his dad acts. And it's like, oh, well, okay, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Ja doesn't need a friend. Ja needs parents. He needs discipline. And when Ja bought T a house right down the street from his, or like literally like the next house down, big old house. They friends now. The whole, I done got you to this point, you know, now you take care of me and then everything's all cool. Whatever you do, as long as the money keep coming in, I'm cool with it. I guarantee you, T not over there telling Ja, man, you got to stop doing this. You know, you jeopardizing your money. And honestly, anybody real in his circle, would have told him by now, like, hey man, because like you about to mess up your money. And honestly, that second video, the dude that was recording is probably about the realest person that Ja Morant has had in his entire circle. Because if it wasn't for technology, you see how fast dude yanked the phone down when Ja pulled the gun out?
Yeah, but I mean, but still, man, I still ain't got no respect for him even cutting the IG live on in the first place.
Well, they was just all chilling in the car. There was like, the gun wasn't out when the video started.
Dude, I've been in the car several times with my friends. IG live is not one of the things that I've ever thought about.
You also not a multi-million-dollar basketball player too. Life is a whole lot simpler and easier.
Nah, bro, IG live is not. Is no. I mean,
you come from a simpler time though. Like we don't want to put everything out there like that. You know what I'm saying? He's young. He grew up in the tech age when live was the thing when he was a kid. Like live, he's only 23 years old. You know what I'm saying? So
my son's 17. As far as I know, I've never seen him go live.
Your son is your son. He's a product of you. So if you didn't come from that, what makes you think you're gonna pass that down to him? You know,
I'm the same age as P. Morant.
All right, but example, look at John Morant pops and compare to you.
We're the same age.
Pops, yeah, but he dressed like a teenager developing.
Thank you. Exactly. I told you.
He's not
a father figure.
He don't have that discipline. You could tell the background, the culture.
He's got to have discipline because he is a person who I think he played Division I basketball. He has a discipline. He's raised 2 kids that are at the top of their field in basketball. He had a son out there doing box jumps and jumping on monster truck tires. It takes some discipline to do that, and he's still in good shape. So he must exercise and eat right. He has a discipline.
2 things could be true at once, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, at the same time, he got his kids that far, but he's the same father that gets twisted at courtside games while his son is playing. So how disciplined is he?
You know what I think it is? I think it's the fact that he did all that work, all the drills, all the exercising to mold Ja to get him to this point, and now he's just laying in the benefits of it.
Yeah,
I think
he's retired,
I think he's just soaking it in a little too hard, and he's just like, he's too relaxed. You know what I'm saying? Like now.
So he stopped fathering. That's what you're saying.
Essentially.
So he was fathering, but he stopped.
If what you said is true, and he was, he was really an instrumental father to Ja to get him to that point, then yeah, he stopped fathering and became a friend because he feels like, all right, well, I got my kid to the league. I got my kid to be a star, a superstar, a potential face of the league. He got a $200-some million contract. I'm good. He's good. We're good. I can chill and reaping the benefits that a lot of parents want to but can't. And I think he's just relaxing too hard. And now he's the hand done got too soft. And now you're friends with your son, and now your son is out here doing dumb shit.
That honestly could be the mindset. That you don't really know. He's probably like, hey, we've made enough money. The hell with the NBA. Let's do what we want to do. We already got them. There's people that, as soon as they get the check, they're gone. For example, Darren Williams, questionable top 5 point guard in the league. As soon as you got that big payout, vanish. And I'm pretty sure you could name lists of players that does do that. So I'm not saying that's John Morant, but that could be his father's stand on what.
If I remember correctly, I think his mom played in the WNBA. So
no. That was Jaden Ivey's mom.
Oh, was it Jaden?
Jaden Ivey's mom played in the WNBA and she coached, and I think Jaden Ivey and Ja Morant got trained a little bit by her.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the connection between Jaden Ivey and Ja Morant is his mom, but his mom caught like that's showing me something is not right. If the mom is calling him to do enforcer dirty work, that's that's what you do. Like if you running some type of gang, that's what you do to your top hitchman. You have somebody set aside for instances where you need somebody to be muscle for you. And I just don't understand how the dude that's making all the money and is your son is the person that you're calling to come do freaking muscle work for. Like you calling your son to be muscle. That makes no sense to me. And the muscle, it ain't even necessary. It's not even against other muscle. It's against a female at a high school volleyball game, or a kid working that finish line. Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, you don't even need muscle for that. You get what I'm saying? I remember, I never forget a long time ago. I had a friend. Now, all my friends, we grew up in the same environment, right? And the environment wasn't the worst, but it wasn't good either. Like, it's, you see crackheads walking like zombies. You see people get killed. You see people get stabbed up. You see stuff like that, right? So you grow up around that. And then you get some people that go the square route like I did. Hey, I want to be a ball player. So I try to stay out of trouble. But you got people that you grew up with like brothers that decide they want to go to the streets. And I had one of those friends that wanted to, he went the street route. He did the dope and sold the dope and all this stuff, right? So he had the gun if I needed it, right? And I'll never forget, I got in a fight with one of my other good friends. We both squares. We both in school. We both playing sports. You know what I mean? So we not like that. You know what I mean? So we fight. I didn't like the outcome of it. So, hey, you know what? So I'm not gonna.
I gotta use that. I gotta use that.
I'm not gonna say I lost. I handled me. But let's just say let's just say he wrestled at 189 and I was 135 at the time. You know what I mean? So you had
a gentleman's sweep.
It didn't go 7 games, but there wasn't no gentleman sweep either. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, man, this dude done tore my herringbone up, my little necklace. Okay, you ripped that, and my nose is bleeding. I don't like that. I got something for you though. So I go up there that same night to go get the gun from my homeboy, and that nigga was hyped. Like, man, what? Who was it, man? Let's do it. He was ready to ride with me, right? And when I told him who it was, he just started laughing. I was like, man, get out of here, man. He said, man, no, man, that ain't worth it, man. I'm not giving you no gun. And I was like, man, you serious, man? And he had to talk me down. I was like, dude, you been emotional, man. Like, dude, that's a little neighborhood fight with a brother, man. And I was like, yeah, true. And I was like, all right, man. He was like, that ain't no beef, man. That's your brother, man. Y'all just had a little scuffle. You know what? You're right. You know what I mean? So, but I say all that to say this. When your mama get into it with somebody at finish line, yeah, like when your mama call you, you supposed to be mature enough to be like, and he said what? And he said wait. He said no, we ain't got no 7.5s, and that's it. Mama, come home. Come on, man. Come on home, mom. I'm not about to come up there. I got $230 million on the line. Come on, mom.
I'll make you some shoes in the 7.5.
Yeah, I'll buy. You know what? We handle this a different way. I'll buy the whole store. How about that? Come on,
there's
man.
so many different ways you could handle it, man. And like, my thing about it is like, it's still a bad look if you go down there and you rah whatever. But if you go down there by yourself, I respect that more. But you went down there with 8 people who was probably going to do all the clapping and stumping anyway, which is it's even the worst look because okay, so you so-called thug, but you don't even squabble your own squabbles. You got
eight people for one dude that work at finish line.
Probably a high schooler just trying to pay for his car.
It ain't no goons in finish line.
Nah,
none.
It's some thickies though. It's some thickies in finish line.
It might be, but I ain't seen not one goon say, "Look, man, I'm about to go put this application in that finish line." Your mama called you and 8 dudes for a non-goon that's not even in the game like that. He was a square. He works at finish line.
He probably had glasses on too.
And he ran in the back and locked the door when he seen y'all.
Protocol.
Come on, man.
I ain't gonna hold you. I might have locked the door and run in the back too if I saw 8 guys.
Listen, they'd have been knocking on that door for 30 minutes, and I'd have been gone. You know they got back doors out that joint. I'd have been on my lunch break.
Man, come on,
I'd have been in the food court and coming back through the front. They're like, oh hey, I was like, oh y'all still here? Let me get out of here.
Man, you never make something a big deal that's not a big deal, man. Like your response to your mom was, "Mom, I'm not about to come. Mom, what in the world are you talking about? You got into it with a finish line, dude? Mom, come home."
Yeah, but you talk about a guy that want to embrace that lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly.
that
But we talk about a mama who's allowing him to embrace it. Like, why would the mom enable it?
Right. The mom put the battery in the back.
Exactly.
So,
and the father wound him up.
So you don't even know like how to like the mom did this. This is probably not a new thing. If the mom is like that now, she probably was like that then. So can John Morant really change, or do we even know who John Morant is?
He got too much female in him. It sounds like, and he's a son husband to his mom. I mean, come on, man. The way he arches back when he do that gritty. Come on, we gotta be real, man.
Yeah, I never liked it.
Hey,
he poked that tail feather out, man.
Leave the gritty out of it, man.
I don't like that dance just because he poked that tail feather out and had that thing poking out. It's a little, it's low key a twerk. Low key.
Listen, leave the gritty out of it, man. Some of my favorite
gritty,
NFL players be doing it.
Yeah, but you look at John Morant play, like that whole gritty became his whole culture. Like he even walk like that now. Like every play, he's dropping his hands. Like, come on, I don't like it.
Hey,
you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, man. And I said this for the first gun issue. If he'd have got drafted anywhere but Memphis, it probably wouldn't even be like this. Honestly,
it'd be worse in Chicago though.
Oh well, okay, Chicago. Man, I seen somebody post that. He was like, "John need to be in Chicago." I was like, "Why?" So he can be out there drilling with Chief Keef and
it'd be bad in Chicago. Charlotte. He from South Carolina. Charlotte is right there by South Carolina.
He'll be bad in LA.
Oh my God.
He could have. No, I
don't think because LA really don't play that. Like you association ain't affiliation, so they definitely not going for that. They definitely not going for that in LA. But like Memphis though, look at the music culture out there. Look who the big music stars out there is. Moneybagg Yo, Gotti,
Young Dolph. You
know what I'm saying? All that is gun culture.
Do we even know why they killed Young Dolph yet?
I think it was. Listen, you know what? Never mind.
You know what I'm saying? We don't even know that. And this dude playing with Crips like that. And it's Crips in LA that's like, look, bro, you ain't affiliated with us, man. We appreciate you shouting us out, but you know, at some point, man, you gonna have to pay for that. Like, you know, you throwing up all this stuff, man, and like, you know, you gonna be on our payroll in a minute if you don't keep playing. Like, you know, is legal to bet in the NBA now?
Hey, I honestly at one point didn't understand the gang culture in LA, but that shit is serious.
It's real.
It's like real serious. They don't play around with that at all.
Bro, I seen a dude online, and it was a vlogger that had went to the spot where Nipsey Hussle was killed, or where he was shot at, or close by it, right? And I think they got a mural, you know, painted on the wall somewhere close to where he was killed at.
Mm-hmm.
And it's constantly some gang members is like policing that area. And this vlogger was about to go over there and try to take a picture in front of the mural. And somebody stopped him and said, I wouldn't advise you to go over there. And he said, within this past year, it's been about 4 or 5 killings in front of that mural just for people walking past it. And I'm like, what? Are you serious? And the vlogger was like, "Oh yeah, thanks for telling me." And he walked off, man. You know what I mean?
Move about face.
Man, ain't no way, man. He said he done personally witnessed 5 people get killed right there.
Yeah, that gang culture in LA is really prominent. And I think somebody's been pressing John Morant about him throwing up like the gang signs in the games and stuff. And he was like, "All right, you got to pay us now. Either that, because we didn't, nobody cleared you. Nobody claimed you. So where you get this from? So now you got to pay us."
It's second nature to him now. I don't think he can stop doing it. Like it's such a part of his persona now.
And that's why he needs at least a 1 season suspension. Let them pockets fill it. And I think he asked the way he does now is because he thinks he's protected by the money that he makes now. Like he can just buy his way out of anything. I can buy the best lawyers. I can buy the best defense team. I can bail my own self out, if I get into a jam, or I can pay somebody to do the job or whatever, right? But you keep getting yourself in all these. You keep getting yourself in all these situations.
What he have already done?
Yeah, you keep getting yourself in all these situations, and you're gonna get suspended without pay. That's money that you're not making now. Hopefully, you saved up whatever money you made to this point, unless you spent it all on the house and the cars and the jewelry and the grill and the parties and it's a parade inside my city, yeah, and all that other stuff, right? And then what? What you gonna have when it's done? Then you're gonna be Mr. Community, and you're gonna be all in the Boys and Girls Club and everything like that. When it's all like you need to learn this now that you have a job, and it's a job that many people idolize and fantasize about, and you're one of the small percentage of people that actually got a chance, and you're one of even the smaller percentage of people that are really, really good at it and are considered a superstar and the potential face of the league. And for you to just be so ready and willing to throw this away for a culture that you didn't even come from, that you don't even really know anything about, and you're willing to throw away $230+ million, not to mention the money you make from your shoes or any future endorsements that you might have, to throw all that away for what? A couple of friends, a couple of likes, a couple of parties, a couple of good girls. It's not worth it, bro.
Yeah, it's basically for attention, man. But all right, man. I mean, I ain't gonna be the dead horse. I really don't want to talk about it again, man. But when people like JJ Redick come out and say some of the dumbest things, man, like
he might have just lost his Toronto coaching job with that one.
Yeah, I mean that shows. I mean, for a guy that we all give credit for being very smart and very sound in his logic and how he says stuff, man, you could see either he's literally illiterate to the real issue, or he's bought into the Stephen A. Smith clickbait, selective outrage type thing. And he's really doing this for ESPN, because I don't see any other way for you to just come out here and really.
Well, with all fairness, there is a gun culture in America, like especially for the other race. It might be a stigma, especially a good kid. You was told, hey, stay away from guns, but in other neighborhoods, those kids are saying, hey, let's go practice to shoot. So. You are getting two sides of the story. So for his defense, he really might not see any issue with it.
And that's a problem, because he's trying to speak on it with authority, with outrage, and you're like, dude, you're not.
I get that,
yeah. You're not in a situation or ever been in a situation where you've seen the gang violence and understand. Like, somebody need to sit him down and just give him a in-depth review of gang culture in Chicago or Memphis or LA. Let me sit down and let me give you the backstory on King Von and O Block, right? And all those murders. Let me give you a taste of Chief Keef. Right. Let me give you a taste of NBA YoungBoy, who's the guy that he's quoting in all these lyrics and playing his song and then flashing the gun. Like, if I'm playing drill music, and drill music is music specifically me speaking about I will murder you, or me speaking about people I already murdered. Like, that is what drill rap is about. I'm gonna kill you. That is the theme song to a neighborhood like O Block in Chicago. That's their theme song. And here we got this NBA player glamorizing it, acting it out, and then showing and flashing the gun to all his followers. That's a legit problem. That's a legit problem. JJ Redick don't know that. All he sees is he flashed the gun. What's the problem? Come on, bro. You don't see the connection. He lost.
Right.
He lost.
He definitely. He might not even have access to that scholarship. He probably. I don't even think Stephen A. Smith is a person, or Jalen Rose. This guy's been in the league for so long. They have money. You know, like they haven't. There's nobody around JJ Redick to even like to say because he got away with it. He said it. He got away with it. So who's really around him to give him that scholarship?
Nobody.
To say, nah, that's not
Nobody.
So,
I mean, and for him to bring up a governor, I'm like, dude, you come on. Yeah, how you comparing it, man? The governor, really? The governor? Get out of here, man. This is ridiculous, man. But anyway, let's move on, man. Let's go to the Heat Boston Celtics series, man. Heat up 1-0. They play tonight. Jimmy Butler is before we even get into the actual matchup, let's talk about Jimmy Butler, man. This playoff Jimmy Butler stuff is it seemed to be real, man. This dude crazy, man. And after he exploded in the bubble, he kind of cooled off after that, and we didn't see him do what he did in the bubble in the regular season. So people kind of jumped off the Jimmy Butler train. Right. But now he's doing it again. You know, it's almost like he saved himself for the playoffs. Does that stop you for putting him in an elite category because he's not doing it for 82 games and playoffs? He's just doing it for playoffs, or what? Like, how do you look at it, and how far do you put him on the chain? Does he reach your top 10 of current players right now?
I'm gonna be honest. What?
Go ahead.
For me, no, he don't make the top 10 for me, and I might regret it soon. Maybe I do need to pay attention to this because he is making noise, and we saw it in the bubble. I guess I was biased because I'm a Lakers fan, but for what Jimmy Butler doing right now, we really need to pay attention and like give him his roses while he's still here because like he's single-handedly carrying his team almost to the finals. Like, that's crazy. He did it in the bubble, and he's doing it again. He's proving that he's an elite player in the league, and we gotta give him his respect.
And it's a team where his number two is not like one of them guys. His number two is however you want to look at it, either Bam or Hero, and neither one of those guys are all stars, perennial all stars or superstars, right? They're none of that, right? That it's not like LeBron and AD, or I wouldn't even say it's Jokic and Jamal Murray. It's not even that. It's not KD and Booker. It's Butler and either Hero, and I think Hero is on the same level with Jordan Poole, or Joker. I mean, or either Bam and Butler, and Bam is like on a he like on a Julius Randle level. So, and then he lost Hero. So you lose your number two. You lose your number two, and you don't even have legit number twos to start with, and you're still making this noise, man. But Chris, tell me, man, is he top 10?
No, in my opinion, Jimmy is not top 10, but he's definitely top 20. I give him top 20. But like you said, you know, we see playoff Jimmy, but we really don't see this kind of production in the regular season. He was 22nd in scoring in the league this year. There were 21 other guys that were, you know, outscoring him. And maybe if we had seen this kind of Jimmy Butler in the regular season, maybe they wouldn't be a playing team, you know, because we're seeing the potential that they have. They're not stacked with superstars. They have Jimmy, and then they have literally a bunch of role players, right? And the fact that they're doing what they're doing, they bounced the 1 seed who had the best record in the league. They bounced New York, which I thought New York was actually going to bounce Miami. I thought New York was a better put together team than Miami was, and they got rid of them in 6. And now they stole the first game from Boston, which is definitely supposedly supposed to be a way better put together team than Miami is, and they just got bounced, and it seemed kind of easy, to be honest with you. It wasn't like it was particularly close. It seemed like there was always like an 8 to 10 point gap throughout the entire game. And it just seemed like Miami just was always 2 steps ahead of Boston. And now, if we just talking about playoff performances, then Jimmy Butler is definitely a top 10 player, because what he's doing in these playoffs and what he did in the bubble, and even what he did last season, because he took Boston, I think, to 7 games in the Eastern Conference Finals last season. So
So
playoff Jimmy
if
is
Jimmy ain't top 10, who is your top 10?
of current NBA players right now.
Yeah.
In no particular order: Steph, KD, Jokic, Giannis, Embiid, LeBron.
LeBron still in your 10? Okay.
Yeah, Jason Tatum.
Okay. And you don't
Where's that
think
at?
Jimmy Butler better than Tatum?
Where am I at? Am I at 7 or 8?
7. That's 7.
I'm at 7.
Yeah.
So Damian Lillard. That's 8. I'm gonna have to put Luka up there and Kyrie.
So Luka and Kyrie rounds off your team.
I think
You didn't put AD.
I think
Because AD not in my top 10.
Sheesh.
but I think any of those players like Jason Tatum, you could replace him with a Butler. Like he's not, you know what I'm saying? Damian Leonard, those two players, that really could be like, preference. Like when you talk about gameplay, which like I said, you have two different kind of employees. You got the employee that stay motivated every day, and you got the employee that like, all right, it's the fourth quarter, it's busy right now. Let me turn up. This is what I like. I like to embrace. That could be Jimmy. Playoff. This is what I'm gonna turn up at. Like, regular season, I'm kind of disengaged. It's a grind. Playoff. This is my dance floor. So
I'm sorry. Take Luka out and put in Devin Booker.
Take who out?
Take Luka out and put in Devin Booker.
Okay, I can get with that.
Yeah, no. To what you was saying, Sheldon. Lillard and Tatum to me are more regular season proven, right? They have done a lot more. Maybe not Damian Lillard more so recently. That's because they don't want to give him no help up there in Portland. But in previous years and in recent years for Jason Tatum, they have done well in carrying their team and making runs. Like Jason Tatum took him to the Eastern. He took him to the finals last year, right? Jimmy Butler just doesn't have that regular season production like that. He kind of coasts. He has 1 or 2 big games during the regular season, and then he does enough to get in the playoffs, and then boom, go crazy. You know what I'm saying?
But he ain't. But he ain't coasting. He ain't really coasting. He's not asserting himself as a scorer, which is okay. He's picking his spots, right? And when they need the scoring, he gives it. That's fine. But he ain't coasting on defense or effort for sure.
No,
he ain't never been fooled on defense. And the only time, like after the bubble, what I really thought was going on with Jimmy is he had some knee issues.
I think he was hurt during the bubble.
Well, nah, he was just tired.
No, I think they said, and I'm gonna have to ask Dennis after this, but I think he might have been dealing with like some kind of shoulder injury or something.
It's possible
during the bubble.
It's possible, but what I know, he was wearing a knee brace the year after that. So him not showing up and doing in the regular season what we saw in the bubble, that's I equated that to his knee injury.
Okay, that was the year after that. Then what about that? So the past 2 years, right? So when they saw Milwaukee the year before, and they saw Milwaukee again this year, right? And both of the regular seasons weren't all that nice, but in the playoffs, Jimmy Butler went nuclear. Like I understand, like you go into a different mode when you get to the playoffs. They need a different animal. They need a different type of beast, right?
Yeah.
But you see Kevin Durant in the regular season. You see LeBron in the regular season. You see Steph in the regular season, and they're certified buckets. And they get into the playoffs, then they become platinum certified buckets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so to see Jimmy Butler be like, kind of a bucket in the regular season, and then go certified platinum bucket in the playoffs is like, well, can you at least give me certified bucket in the regular season too? Maybe you wouldn't be an 8 seed if you applied yourself a little bit more and actually stepped up and led the team in the regular season like you lead them in the playoffs.
Yeah, he like one of those receivers that when you throw him an impossible pass with 3 defenders on him, he catch them. But sometimes he drops slants.
Yeah, like he makes the almost impossible, improbable plays, and then the ones that he should get, the gimmies, he end up dropping. I get that.
Yeah,
I think all superstars do that. LeBron does it. He takes off. LeBron, I think Jimmy Butler only missed 18 games this year, so he is there for most of the season. I think all superstars. I don't think he just gets the spotlight. We do have those games. Because LeBron played 57 games. Majority of them is on ESPN. He's gonna get that highlight, that conversation.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Butler.
Hey, Gordon, did you switch to like a headset or something? I took it off. I can barely hear you.
Okay, I'll come back. I'll fix it.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, maybe it's just the bright lights in the primetime games, man. Like Jimmy Butler is not one of the faces of the league, so they're not just throwing him all on the primetime games and on TV and stuff like that. And
yeah,
but when he going face to face with somebody, he need this is a head to head matchup. I'm going up against Tatum. He get up for it, and especially if it's the playoffs with the bright lights on. So it could be that.
And I respect that a whole lot more. Like if I'm a GM or an owner or a head coach, like that's the kind of player I want. Like the player that shines brighter when it comes to the lights instead of shrinking away. Like Julius Randle. Julius Randle probably one of the great regular season guys, and then gets to the playoffs and then just
I don't know if he built for playoff basketball. I don't think he's ready for when a foul is not a foul. All of a sudden, how do you still play through it? That's what be changing so much, man. Like teams with experience, what they really are experienced at is, look, you're not going to get that call unless you're one of these guys, and you can get away with this much, and you just know how far you can go before you cross the line and get a whistle, and on both sides, man. And I think that's what people know. Like the Warriors, they know, look, man, we must see TV, so we know the refs are going to kind of give us favor. So Draymond knows that, so he can tiptoe the line a little bit and borderline start fights almost, because he knows it's gonna be tough for them to kick him out because they don't want to punish the league by punishing the Warriors, and he knows that Steph Curry is one of those guys that you just can't touch in most cases.
Yeah.
Right. So just that knowledge, how to navigate the playoffs, and Randall haven't figured that part out yet.
But
he just ain't.
But Jimmy had.
Jimmy, and it don't even matter to Jimmy. Jimmy go like, if Jimmy ain't getting the calls, he's still out there hooping. He just coming 100% every single time, man. So and that's what I like about him. But he made first team. I mean, he made 13 All NBA, didn't
he? I thought didn't he make second?
Nah, I don't know if it was second. He made third, which he shouldn't have. He
shouldn't have made the All NBA at all.
I don't think so. Because like I said, let me pull it up. Because like I said, and you just described, you said he coached in the regular season.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I mean, how do you coast and be a playoff team? I mean, a play-in team. But
and then get these regular season accolades.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got you. Makes sense.
Yeah. So let me pull it up real quick before we get in the off season.
Jimmy in the playoffs remind me of the old head that come to the rec that had hoop dreams but blew his knee out. He always played hard because he had a chance. He had a scholarship. You
got it. Oh yeah, he made second team, bro.
He did make second team. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Let's talk about this because we haven't talked about the All NBA teams yet. I haven't even did a video on it. So
I think they got a couple wrong. I ain't gonna lie to you.
So okay. So let's start with the first team. I'll pull it up. Yeah. Hold on. Let me pull it.
I can't remember exactly who was on it.
Yeah, you got that old man memory. It's all good though.
Hey man, the Navy was a wild time, brother.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean sometimes you gotta say no, man. We had a zero tolerance. Tolerance, my homie.
El Honcho, man.
Y'all used to love the Honcho. I ain't never go to the Honcho out there, man. I was out there with a family trying to make chief, man.
I'd be out there on a Tuesday. Meet me at the Chew High stand.
Boy, you crazy. So here's your first team.
Okay, first off, take Luke off because no.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So let's start with, how do you, to be fair, so we can apply this across the board. To be fair, how do you pick your NBA first, second, and third team?
It's for me. It's kind of like MVP standards, just a little bit looser, right? Everybody can't be MVP, but you still have to kind of be essentially the MVP of your team, right? You kind of have to be good on both sides of the ball.
I like that.
You have to be a leader for your team. You have to be constantly reliable, and I mean you still got to be a bucket, right? So Giannis, we know is good on defense, and he's still gonna get you 28 and 14, 13, right? Embiid ended up getting MVP. We know he plays well both sides of the ball, leads the team very well, and a bucket. Shai Gilgeous, if he didn't get first team, I was gonna be, because damn the standards for OKC. He had them in the play-in, and this team, mind you, is supposed to be in the middle of a rebuild, right? And they didn't even have their first round draft pick this year. He was gone the whole season. So Shea was out there doing it, and he was hooping. I think he was averaging either close to 30 or 30 points.
He was 30 for most of the season. I don't know if he finished at 30, but 30
so
for most of the season.
And Shea is not a slouch on defense either. Jason Tatum, we already know what JT is about. My problem here is first Luka. Luka does not play defense, and we all know this very well, right? And also, he complains a lot about the calls that he doesn't get, which ends up causing it to be a lot of 5-on-4s down the other way, and ends up most of the time turning into a bucket, right? And his offensive reliability is very sketchy, because although you might see 30, 40 points, what's the shot total to get there, right? He's not efficient at all, and he takes a lot of shots away from his team instead of and it's crazy that you couldn't make it work with Kyrie, because it's Kyrie. Like, why couldn't you make it work? Y'all should have been in the playoffs, and instead, y'all didn't even make the play-in. Y'all was the first team that can't.
They could have made it. They tanked, so they wouldn't make it. And to be fair to Dallas and Luka and Kyrie, he showed up after the trade deadline. It's hard to figure that out on the fly. I mean, a lot of things had to change from Luka ball to actual real offense. So there's a lot of stuff that they need to change, and Phoenix did the same thing, bringing in KD and changing their team, but it's a lot less that needed to change when you add KD, because they was already playing team ball. So,
but there are certain players in the league that you eventually still need to rework the chemistry, but there's a few players who are plug and play material, and Kyrie Irving is a plug and play. Like, you should have been able to get Kyrie in. And Kyrie and Luka should have been dazzling, and they should have been in the playoffs. And I feel Luka is the sole reason why that experiment at the end of the season didn't work. And then y'all ended up tanking, which is just a terrible look anyway. And y'all didn't even get I don't even think they got anything in the lottery. So
they got the number 10 pick.
Well, did they get number 10?
Yeah, they got the number 10. They almost didn't get their lottery pick, because if they would have got 11, they would have been a wrap. They would have went.
They would have had to send that to Brooklyn,
Knicks,
right?
Yeah. No, Knicks.
Oh, the Knicks. Okay.
Yeah, for the Porzingis trade.
Brunson.
No, Porzingis.
Oh, Porzingis. Okay.
Yeah. So look, I'm with you on that. I value the same thing for all NBA that I do for MVP, which is winning, and being elite on both ends of the basketball floor, on top of showing some type of superior play, right? Mm-hmm. And all 5 guys is on this first team showed superior play for sure, but not all 5 guys check put a check in the box for winning and being valuable and elite on both ends of the floor. So if I take into account winning, superior performance, and both ends of the floor, that leaves me with Embiid, Giannis, and Tatum staying first team. Luka for the winning and the defense comes out, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for the winning comes out, right? So who I would have had in their place would have been De'Aaron Fox.
Absolutely.
Right? Both ends of the floor, plus the winning, plus superior performance. Yep. He checked all the boxes. I would have had De'Aaron Fox, and I would have had Donovan Mitchell first team.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not, but it depends. Where's Donovan? Did he get second or third team?
He got second.
Okay, that I would put Shea on second team, but Luka's bouncing down the third where De'Aaron Fox is for me.
All right, so let's look at the second team. All right.
I feel like De'Aaron Fox definitely got robbed of that first team though, because the inaugural Clutch Player of the Year award and you don't get first team, that's crazy.
Yeah. They I mean, it's the first time for the award. They don't really know how to navigate it yet. So if Shea and Luka comes out of first team for me, and I'm putting Donovan Mitchell off the second team there and De'Aaron Fox, so that leaves one vacancy at second team. And I would put Shea second team in place of Donovan Mitchell. So I'm swapping Donovan Mitchell and Shea Gilders first and second team. Jimmy Butler doesn't make second team for me. And I don't know if Jaylen Brown makes second team being a number 2 for his team.
I ain't gonna lie, right? I don't got Jaylen Brown on any NBA team.
Yeah, I would rather have a number 1 on that squad. So I probably would have, man.
Hold on, wait a minute. This whole list is terrible. Damian Lillard didn't even play half the season.
Yeah, I don't have Dame. The same reason why I don't have Luka, I don't have Dame either. So you know what? I'm lying. I'm keeping Jaylen Brown on my second team. I'm taking Butler and Donovan Mitchell out. Donovan Mitchell's first team, Shea Gilders' second team. So my second team would be Jokic, Jaylen Brown, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Steph Curry, and who would replace Jimmy Butler? I'm trying to remember my list, and I can't even remember.
Who's on the third team? Can you show me the third team? See if anybody get bumped up. Well, we already said De'Aaron's going to the first team.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be Bron. It wouldn't be Lillard. It wouldn't be Randall.
Oh, it was Jalen Brunson. On
second team? Okay.
Yeah. I would have had Jalen Brunson. So it would have been Jalen Brunson, Jaylen Brown, Steph, Shea,
I like that.
And Nikola.
I like that for second team.
I think that's how I had it. Did I have it that way? I gotta look at. I gotta look.
That sounds legit because Jalen Brunson was hooping.
Yeah.
Third team. Let's see. We moved De'Aaron up to the first team. Bron is third. Honestly, I'm taking Bron out of. He's not getting no NBA team because
it's either gonna be him or AD. It's got to be one of them.
They both miss too many games.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, because I'm looking at what boxes they check. They don't check the winning box.
No,
but at least they didn't not make the playoffs. Like Shea Gilders didn't make the playoffs. Luka didn't make the playoffs. Dame didn't make the playoffs. Right. So the only reason why Shea even get in there is because the performance was spectacular and he plays both ends of the floor. But he don't check the winning box, and that's key. So you can't even get on first team without checking all 3 boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Second and third, I take, if you don't check one of the boxes, fine, right? Like Jaylen Brown, he don't check the box because he's not even the number 1. He's not carrying the load like everybody else is. He's a number 2, but the performance was there, and a lot of times he played as the number 1 because Tatum would disappear in games. And then they had the best record in the league almost for most of the season, right? Yeah. So I allow a team like that to have two guys. But the Lakers, no. You getting one guy, and it's either gonna be AD or LeBron. So I don't know, man. We'll come back to it, man, because it seems like I'm forgetting names, and I definitely would have the first team at Giannis, Embiid, Tatum, Fox, and Mitchell. That's 100% my first team, and Luka, Dame, they're not making first, second, or third for me. I mean, because you got to justify to me, if you're gonna put Luka in, then why are you not putting Kyrie in?
My thing is, I feel like KD missed more games than LeBron did, so. But I feel like KD definitely had a better season than LeBron did. Even Devin Booker didn't get any nods, which is crazy. So I don't know.
That's another name. See, and that's why. Yes. So Booker would get in there as well too.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was a mess.
Yeah, over Dame.
Yeah, that whole NBA team was a mess this year. It was a popularity contest, pretty much, honestly.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the off season, starting with the James Harden rumor first. We'll start with that. Of course, they just fired Doc. The first rumor is that James Harden wanted Doc out of there. That's the first rumor. The second rumor is, which has been happening all year, is that he wants to go back to Houston, which I don't understand why, because the connection he had in Houston was D'Antoni and Daryl Morey. And Daryl Morey is in Philly, and he could hire D'Antoni if he wants to. So I don't know if James really want to go to Houston. I think opting out is just him trying to get another max contract, and he wanted with Philly. That's what I really think. What's your thoughts?
I definitely do think D'Antoni is probably going to get the next job in Philly just because of that Del Morey connection. But I don't think him going back to Houston is not that far out the realm, honestly.
But why would he? They don't have pieces there. They're not a playoff team.
They got the number 3 draft pick this year.
Okay.
They have a budding prospect in what's his name, Jalen Green.
Yeah.
They just hired Ime Udoka.
Okay. Down
there as coach, so it might be a little bit more of a I don't know, man. Because honestly, I'm not gonna say that adding James Harden instantly makes them a contender, because it's just James Harden, and James Harden has proven that he really can't lead a team by himself. He can take them to the playoffs, and then they disappear after that. So he needs help, but I don't know. I don't know if he's playing Big Brother but
yeah, he's just trying to get that bag. He don't want to play on in a contract year, and he feel like he performed well enough now that he can come to the table and ask for some more money. And he wants some that's gonna take him to the end of his career, like CP3. CP3 got that long-term contract to take him till he was 40. So he looking for something like that. I don't know if Philly go give it to him. And this is my thought about James Harden. He was a number 1 in Houston, and he got the best out of the situation. As a number 1, he wasn't able to win a championship. He was able to get close. He got to the Western Conference Finals against the Golden State Warriors, took him to 7 games. He did everything he could as a number 1. But once he started realizing that physically his body wasn't going to let him be a number 1 and carry that load and play the way he played, he decided maybe I need to leave, and I don't mind being a number 3 in Brooklyn behind KD and Kyrie. So he went there as a number 3. It looked like it was going to go well, but injuries hit him. And then he wanted out of there and was like, yeah, let me go be a number 2 for Embiid, right? And it didn't work as a number 2 either. So I think he realized I probably need to be a number 3, man. Like, James Harden is a number 3 right now. If he's your number 2, you're probably not going to win, right? Yeah. So he needs to be a number 3 for someone's squad. And if he leaves Philly, it's probably going to be somewhere that got 2 guys. But dang, how's that possible if he's trying to ask for a max contract, though?
There's only going to be 2 ways that this can go down for James Harden. 1, you get a max contract and you're by yourself with a bunch of role players and rookies. Or 2, you take the pay cut and the role change and you go to, and I'm just throwing out hypothetical, just randoms, but you go to a Golden State or a Phoenix or a Milwaukee or, something like that, or a Dallas if they keep Kyrie. You know what I'm saying? And then you take that third, because then in all those roles, he would be the third guy. In Golden State, it's Steph and Wig, and he'd be the third one there. It'd be KD, Bug, and he'd be the third one there. It'd be Giannis and Drew, and he'd be the third one there. It'd be Luka and Kyrie. So there's only 1 or 2 ways it can go: get a max and play by yourself, or take a cut and role change and go join a contender.
Okay. All right. Kyrie Irving, Dallas and Mark Cuban and Nico Harris, they already said, I think even Jason Kidd, they all said, we want to keep Kyrie Irving. And Mark Cuban said going into the offseason this summer their main priority is re-signing Kyrie Irving. All right, so Dallas is already saying they want to sign him. That's different than what he was getting at Brooklyn. Brooklyn was never committing to Kyrie publicly, right? Now you got a team that's committing to you publicly, saying we want to keep you, and you want a max contract. So now y'all got to figure out, are they going to give you a max? They're going to give you a little bit less. So they're going to give you a max with stipulations in your contract. Like, how is that situation going to work? You tell me how you think it's going to go down with Kyrie in Dallas.
I have it going down as a sign and trade.
Okay.
Kyrie is definitely not gonna, because they gave up a lot to get him. They gave him a lot to bring him over to Dallas. So he's not gonna do him dirty like that and just drop off in free agency, and they have nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
So he'll agree to a sign and trade. I think that he'll take a pretty light contract money wise, because where he wants to go, they're gonna be strapped for cash, and I got him. I still got to figure out how it's gonna work on the bench, but I got him going to Phoenix in the sign and trade. Actually, you know what?
Case.
You know what? I got it right, because you unload CP3 and Ayton.
Yep. It's going to be CP3 and Ayton, and it's going to be Kyrie, Booker, Kevin Durant, but they're going to have to figure out who they're going to add to that, because they're going to have a skeleton crew.
And that bench is going to be.
Yeah. But they can add on to that bench if they don't mind going to go get some old guys that can still play. They can go to Dwight Howard. They can go to DeMarcus Cousins. They can
Carmelo
go to
Anthony, Rajon
Rondo, Carmelo Anthony. You can figure out if you can get Otto Porter out of Toronto. They had him on the bench. Otto Porter Jr. will be great.
Go get Jay Crowder back.
Go get Jay Crowder back. I mean,
go steal PJ Tucker from Philly. He only on a 1 year. He been taking 1 year. So get him. Go get him on a vet minimum. He just want to hoop.
Yeah.
So go get PJ on a vet minimum. Go get Dwight Howard. Like, y'all, you can go get a lot of guys for vet minimums and get this 1 year. See how it works. And if you get a ring, you get a ring.
Yeah.
And if you get further than what you got this year, but you don't get a ring, now you know that you got a winning formula, and then you know what to tweak with it. You can pay some guys a little bit. You can restructure some contracts, whatever. But you need to drop CP3 and DeAndre Ayton, because DeAndre Ayton, there's no reason why you're 7 feet and getting exposed how he did in the paint in these playoffs. He got
played by Landale.
Jock Landale was out there hooping because he understood the assignment. I don't know when I'm gonna get this time again, so I'm gonna go show out now.
Yeah.
Right. And the firing of Monty Williams, I don't agree with. But I guess that's the new trend in the league. A lot of these ownerships and managements are giving short leashes. Milwaukee fired Budenholzer 2 years after winning the championship, had the best record in the league. Monty Williams got put out 2 years from the finals and winning coach of the year. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like they having terrible seasons. They're still winning organizations. They're still putting out winning seasons, but it's just they out here getting chopped. So it also depends on if Kyrie does the sign and trade with Phoenix, who they end up putting in as coach. You know what I'm saying? Because Kyrie needs a coach that's gonna he needs that a firm coach, not like a Monty Williams would have been good for Kyrie, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, and it seemed like KD and Monty Williams got along pretty good.
KD said Monty Williams was one of the key reasons is why he wanted to trade to Phoenix in the first place.
Yeah, so I don't understand that fire, man. It's I mean, you can look at it as a new owner coming in and he just want his guys. He just wanted to be structured the way he wanted to be structured, and it is what it is, man. Like, if he didn't feel like he was getting that warm and fuzzy from Monty Williams, and he feel like he had another guy in mind that was a better option, more power to him. But I mean, he got to make sure he can hit a home run with this next guy, though. This next guy can't.
Who do you think? Because I got 3 people that just recently got relieved of their job. So if it is out of these 3, who do you think gets the job in Phoenix? Nick Nurse from Toronto, Mike Budenholzer from Milwaukee, or Doc Rivers from Philly?
Neither one of them. Like that. Like if either the three of those guys get the job, you might as well stay with Monty Williams. I think he's a better option than those three guys. If I'm hiring a coach,
Do
I
you go
want
get Mark Jackson?
I go get Mark Jackson. I would get Mark Jackson over those three guys that you named.
Yeah, especially over Doc, because
Yeah. Yeah,
I think Milwaukee. I think I seen a report that said Milwaukee was talking to or tried to talk to Mark Jackson. So
it's possible.
but yeah, I can. But that's the only thing I see for Kyrie. If it's as far as another team would be because he wants to get back with KD. They had the right idea, just the wrong. Damn, I just had the word in my head. But yeah, they had the right idea, just the I just had it again, but the wrong way of going about it, right? So I think he'll try and get back with KD. But if they can't work out some agreement where both sides are happy between Phoenix and Dallas, then he'll just re-sign with Dallas. But I don't think he'll take a max even in Dallas, just because Kyrie understands that you still got to pay other people.
Nah, he will. I mean, that was the whole point. He want. Well, I mean, if he get the years, I can see him taking a little less than the max if he get the years. But
you can probably get 150 over 4 and be straight.
Yeah, but that won't be the only issue. The issue is you still got to change the way you're running your offense to a higher level of sophistication. And Luka Ball has got to be abandoned, and I think that's going to be an issue mentally for Luka. I mean, it's like like I said, that high usage rate offense is a powerful drug in the NBA, man. And it's hard for people to wing off that drug and get it out their veins, and that's what Westbrook and Harden had to deal with. And Luka is not coming off that drug easy, man. So that's gonna be a big thing. All right, so now Golden State Warriors, man, that's the big one I want to talk about. So
yeah, tell them what you was thinking, man.
Man, you know what? As a matter of fact, I do you one better. I'll pull up the tweet because I tweeted this, right? I haven't even looked at it to see if anybody called capped on it, but pretty much what I said was the Golden State Warriors, and you know what? I probably got to look at the money a little closer to see if it's even possible. But all of a sudden there's like some issues going on in Portland because Dame Lillard was tweeting to some fans, and some fans were saying that that Portland should move on from and all that stuff, man. I was like, man, if Portland did decide to trade Dame Lillard, and I'm the Warriors, I'm grabbing them, right? So I'm gonna show you how it would look if the Warriors actually did a trade with Dame Lillard, and who I would actually trade if I'm the Warriors, right? So this is what it would look like. Dame and Jeremy Grant straight up for Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and since Dame is the better player of those four, the Warriors would probably have to send over a draft pick to make it a sweet deal for the Blazers, right? So what the Blazers would get in that situation is they would get an opportunity to now have Simons be the guy for their squad instead of him being a small two guard beside Dame, and neither one of them can guard big guards. So now you get Simons at the point, Klay Thompson and his $43 million a swap over. You can start Shaedon Sharpe, who showed promise as a rookie this year, and then Draymond Green and Nurkic, right? So that's what you get. And then on the side, the Warriors side, you get Steph, Dame, you get the best backcourt in the league, right? You still got Wiggins as a great defender and a great third option for offense. You get Jeremy Grant, who's also a way better offensive player than Draymond Green in terms of scoring, but you don't get much fall off as a defender because he can defend all the positions 1 through 4, just like Draymond did. Plus, he give you a little bit of length at the rim with shot blocking, and then you couple that with Loney, and you got a good starting five with Poole and Kuminga being able to get minutes coming off the bench. right? That way you're not paying Clay $43 million to be the fifth best player on your team. You can pay Dame similar money to that, but Dame would be someone that's actually unguardable. So you got Steph unguardable, Dame, right? And then you're not playing 27 to Draymond to be the sixth best player on your team and punch teammates, and you don't have to get rid of Poole because Draymond is still there, and you still don't get a lot of fallout from the defense, and then you just keep going. So if I'm Laker, the owner for the Warriors, and I'm paying that luxury tax, I'd rather pay that luxury tax for a backcourt of Steph and Dame versus pay that luxury tax for a backcourt of Steph and Clay with Draymond Green on the roster, and he's got problems with everybody in the locker room. So what's your thoughts? And stop breathing on the mic like Kendrick Perkins.
I'm not breathing on the mic, man.
You sound just like Kendrick Perkins, man.
I can't take a deep breath, man. But so at first when you told me, it seemed kind of crazy because it's just like it seems like a wild trade. But the more I think about it, the more I look at it, and it's like, honestly, you kind of owe it to Dame for the loyalty that he has shown over the years, and then you guys just haven't really given him any help. I think it would be again, you said you got to see how the money works, but if the money is good, and I mean, you maybe might have to throw in a pick or two.
Yeah.
But if the money is good, I think it would benefit both teams.
Which team would say no to that?
Portland.
You think Portland say no?
Yeah, just because if they did say no, it would just be because they're not ready to face the music and realize, like, you know, we haven't been able to have the winning culture that we wanted when we drafted Dame in all these years, and you know, they're just not ready to realize that. I think because of what happened in the offseason last year, or in the preseason this season for Golden State, I think that they're looking at the money, they're looking at who they're paying that money to, and realizing that there are other guys in the league that they could pay that same money to and get better production. Clay has not been the same after coming back from back-to-back year-long injuries, and Draymond was never really an offensive weapon anyway, and he's more so declined from what he was before at that. And you're paying Clay, what'd you say, 43 or 41?
43.
43 million. That contract was out of respect.
It was. Yeah, it was out of respect. 43 million next year. 43 million next year, and we don't even know if you're better than Poole at this moment right now, and you're making double his salary.
Yeah,
right?
that contract was out of respect, and then Draymond is just. So honestly, I don't know, man. You could probably, since this is the last year on both of those contracts, they might ride it out one more year. We got to see when Dame and Jeremy's contracts are up, and then it might just be a free agent bonanza, or they might try and do a sign and trade middle of the season before the deadline or something. I don't know, but I think Golden State would definitely, because I think they still think that they can get like 3 or 4 good runs out of Steph and Wiggins, and now you add Jordan Poole, and you know you got some decent bench production. I think they just if you move on from Draymond and Clay and you pick up a Dame and Jeremy Grant, I think that just sends you right back to top 3 contention in the Western Conference.
It will make them real good. Jeremy Grant is gonna be a free agent. So this was the last year of his contract. He was making 20 mil. So we'll see what he would be asking for. But that's even still, if he asks for something similar, that's less than Draymond, and he's 29 years old. Give you way more offense and close to the same defense, right? So Dame Lillard's making 42. Well, next year he'll be making 45. So that swap for Clay and Dame is really good in the Warriors' favor because you get a better player for virtually the same amount of money.
Yep.
Right. And how it benefits the Blazers is because you already got your replacement for Dame and Anthony Simons.
Mm-hmm.
And Dame was giving you 28 a game. You can get 28 a game from Anthony Simons if he get the shots that Dame was getting, right?
Yeah.
So you get to get off of Dame's contract, and because his go all the way out to 2026, 2027, where he'll be making 63 mil in 26, 27.
Ooh.
Right? Yeah. So he got 195 guaranteed left on his contract. So
wait a minute. Damian Lillard is from Oakland. Oh yeah, he going home.
Yeah, but they in San Francisco now though.
It's across the bay. It ain't nothing.
Yeah. So it would be dope. He would be going home, right?
Yeah.
So how the Blazers would benefit from that though is because they would get 2 expiring contracts with Clay and Draymond.
Mm-hmm.
Those contracts are expiring, and it comes off the books after next year. So they would be moving forward with Anthony Simons, and then Dre and Clay will come off the books, and they can go out and go get some free agents around him and or try to build around him in the draft. I would do that. I would take those expiring contracts if I'm Portland, and then if the Warriors was already going to be paying that luxury tax, I'd already be paying the luxury tax with a backcourt of Dame Lillard and Steph than what they got right now. Easy.
$63 million for 1 year is crazy.
Yeah, $63 million. How much?
It jumps from 48 to 58. Good.
Yeah,
God.
and look, and Steph,
he'd be making more than Steph that year.
Yeah, so Steph is 35, right? So next year, making 51, he'll be 36, making 55 at 37, and then making 59 at 38 years old, right?
That'll probably be his last year, honestly.
And Dame is 3 years younger, right? Mm-hmm. And he got a player option. So Steph and Dame contract will be up at the same time, but Dame got a player option, and he's the younger player. That's interesting. So 25 and 26, they both would be making 58 for Dame and 59 for Steph. Woo!
I think after this contract though, Steph will retire though. I don't think Steph is gonna go to no. I even think 38 is a stretch for him just because of the ankle history and whatnot. But being a shooter, you do get a little bit more longevity. You're not attacking the rim that much, not a lot of hard contact. But I don't think he makes it past 38. I think he retires after that season.
So you don't see him. I mean, he could do it.
He'll finish the contract.
Yeah, but he can do what Ray Allen did and come off somebody's bench for a super. Like if somebody put together a super team, and they had Steph coming off the bench like Ray Allen in Miami, do you think if Popovich coached that long and he had Wemby in San Antonio, and he was able to build something around Wembanyama, and the missing piece was a 6-man like Steph coming off the bench, and he did it for the vet minimum, I think he'd do that at 38.
Steph not coming off nobody's bench.
Hey, man.
Steph not coming off nobody's bench, man.
Every shooter got to do it at some point.
He could just retire. He's already great. He's already the greatest shooter to ever lace him up. So
yeah.
What else?
Look at that. Look at the roster for the Blazers though.
It's pretty terrible. I'm not lie to you.
I mean, you can say it's terrible, but if you get rid of Dame and you got Anthony Simons, Clay, Draymond, Nurkic, Shaedon Sharp, and then everybody else is, Cam Reddish come off the books this summer. Nasir Little is locked up, but everybody else, man, they team options or they free agents this year, so they can completely rebuild their roster.
This is true, but they would have to go big shopping in free agency. I mean, they would have the money too, but
I mean, they got the number 3 pick. So look, Dame. Oh man, that's even better. So Dame's gone. You got Anthony Simons, Clay, Draymond, Nurkic, Shaedon Sharp, and the number 3 pick.
Who's the projected number 3? Because it's Wemby, Scoot, and Brandon Miller. Ain't that Brandon Miller a 2 guard? Or he's a small forward?
A 6'9", two guard / small forward. He's a Paul George that can shoot better.
Oh, this will be the time that Clay comes off the bench.
Not for 43.
Well, what?
He's not a rookie. Now the rookie's definitely coming off the bench.
Brandon, top three draft pick is not.
He only got to do it for 1 year. He only got to do it for 1 year.
He's not coming off the bench. The top 10 don't come off the bench. Once you get 11, 12, that's when you start getting the bench rookies. But I'll say top 7. Top 7 are starters.
Okay. It's interesting.
But unless you put Brandon Miller at the 3 and keep Clay at the 2.
Then I mean, but Shaedon Sharpe is just as good as Brandon Miller, if not better.
Then you just run a small lineup then with Nurkic at the 5. I mean, how tall is Shaedon Sharpe?
But you had Draymond. Shaedon Sharpe about 6'8".
Oh shit! Well, somebody's gonna have to come off the bench, and it's not gonna be Brandon Miller.
Why wouldn't it not be the rookie, man?
Because
Shaedon Sharpe came off the bench this year.
He wasn't a top 7 pick.
Was he not?
I don't think so.
Pick. He was still lottery.
Lottery is 16 picks,
bro.
I don't know, man. I don't see Brandon. Have you seen him hoop in college?
Have you seen Shaedon Sharpe hoop?
No, I don't really watch the Blazers like that. Cause
I'm talking about before he got to the Blazers. I was watching. See, you ain't no hoop head like me, man. I'm studying that stuff.
Man, listen,
I'm studying that stuff, man.
As far as watching the draft class, Wemby is gonna be on the same thing Chet Holmgren on. I don't see unless Wemby hit the weights or something, but then it's not gonna make him. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand these big wiry frames doing these non-big wiry frame things. It's not their bodies are not gonna last long. He's 7'5", Mel.
That's crazy.
He's 7'5", like a point guard. And that's not.
And it's funny. It's funny people say we ain't never seen this before, but we actually have.
Kevin Durant.
No, Ralph Sampson.
Oh, damn! I ain't heard that name in a long time.
Ralph Sampson was just like Wemby. The only difference is that sugar booger. That booger sugar. Yeah. Ralph Sampson, allegedly. Allegedly Ralph Sampson would
before the game?
Hey, they say Ralph Sampson was like that, man. Yeah. I mean, think about it, man. Him and Hakeem was twin towers in Houston, man. They walked the dog crap on the Lakers, man. In the playoffs, man. And
was that the 2 years that they won the chip when Mike retired?
No. It was before that. This is when Showtime Lakers was Showtime Lakers.
Oh.
They had problems with that twin tower. Come on, Hakeem and Ralph Sampson. And imagine right now if Wemby, if he is what everybody think he is, playing beside Embiid. And Embiid was your power forward and Wemby was the center. That's what Ralph Sampson and Hakeem was.
Damn.
Please, as soon as we end this live, go research Ralph Sampson and the Twin Towers in Houston and see how they played. And I want you to see how good Ralph Sampson is. Jeez. Ralph Sampson had the jump shot. You don't remember him hitting that turnaround 3 to beat the Lakers in the playoffs?
I'm 27, Mel.
Chris, when you research out, and I want you to do a thorough research. I want you to have thorough knowledge of Ralph Sampson by the next time we talk. And as soon as we end this live in about 2 minutes, I want you to go do your research on Ralph Sampson.
Not this man giving me homework on my day off.
And I want you to come back and have a conversation with me because I love talking about basketball. I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me what you think about Ralph Sampson. And everybody else is watching, go do your research on Ralph Sampson.
I got you.
And you tell me if we ain't never seen Wembanyama before.
I ain't gonna lie though. The NBA are some great script writers for how they did that draft lottery.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because honestly, I didn't see Pop coaching for much longer, but now you just gave him the number 1 pick, and I'm pretty sure they got a couple more draft picks out of whatever trades they did for the DeJounte Murray to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Watch out for San Antonio next. They're not gonna be a top 4, but they might be back in the conversation as long as Wemby can stay healthy.
They might. That's all I can say. They might.
Do Do you think Wemby deserves all this attention that he's getting? Talking about the
Sure.
highest touted prospect since LeBron.
No, not that. Nah. That's just some made up propaganda to create stories. He's a good prospect. He can hoop. He's a unicorn. We ain't seen nothing like this since Ralph Sampson or Kendrick
Perkins.
No, I was about to say KP. Porzingis. Porzingis was similar.
Hey, Kendrick Perkins out there hooping. Huh?
But it's crazy. Porzingis was similar, but also Chet Holmgren was similar.
Yeah,
just
we
last
still
year.
ain't seen Chet yet because of that LaFranc fracture that he got.
Yeah. So Porzingis and Chet was just like that, but I think the closer comparison is going to be Ralph Sampson. So we've seen it, but we ain't seen it that often.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a great prospect, man. But since LeBron, come on, man, we sat and watched LeBron for 2 years in a row be called the chosen one in high school and sold out like real arenas, not high school arenas, like real professional arenas. And you got Jay-Z and all types of people coming to watch you play, and you on the cover of magazines. Like that was a whole different type of prospect. LeBron was totally different. And then you end up getting drafted by your hometown team, and they already comparing you and calling you King James and comparing you to MJ, and like that's a whole different type of hype. And
script writers,
Wemby ain't getting that type of hype. You know what I mean? Everybody just saying, man, this is a unicorn, man. We ain't seen nothing like it. That's it.
David Stern might be the best executive producer
David Stern
ever was.
David Stern, rest his soul. But yeah,
David Stern won't allow for none of this John Morant crap.
Nah. Before we leave though, we was just talking about the Warriors. The perfect analogy for what's going on with the Warriors. Remember that skit, greatest hookup in history that Dave Chappelle did? The greatest moments in hookup history?
Yeah.
And he was trying to get with that girl that had the 2 fat, ugly friends that was like shielding her, like, no, you can't get to the pretty girl. That's what Steph is. He's the pretty girl, and Draymond Green and Clay are the ugly fat girls that's trying to protect Steph from everybody. Like everybody that comes to the Warriors that try to get part of that circle, Dre and Clay is pushing them away. Like, no, it's me, Steph, Clay, we're the core, and Steve Kerr, we're the core, we're it. We don't want nobody new. And everybody that Bob Myers draft that brings in Jordan Poole, Wiseman, they brought KD in. It don't matter who come in. Nah, we're protecting the core. We're the core. And they got to remind everybody, even Draymond reminded KD, man, we did this without you. We don't need you. We won without you. You know what I mean? They keep reminding people that. Knock Jordan Poole out because he was about to get a contract. Clay and Draymond is jealous of these new guys. They got Wiseman traded. Bob Myers don't even want to resign with the team because it's just toxic. And all that was created by the fat, ugly girls trying to protect everyone from getting to Steph. And that's what I see, man. And I just want to play this part for you.
Out. Hutchinson went for the game-winning score.
Gina, why don't you just come home with me?
No, we promised each other we'd all leave here together.
His attempt was...
And that's what it is.
Leave here together.
And that's what Draymond Clay is doing. No, we came here together. We go leave here together. They trying to make sure they stay with the Warriors, with Steph forever. And everybody else, man, y'all can go kick rocks, and that's what it is, man. But yep, that's my opinion on that, man. Steph's the pretty girl. Draymond is definitely the donkey, but that's it, man. I'll catch you on the next episode next week, man. Peace.